Welcome everyone and good afternoon. Could I ask you to please stand for the singing of O Canada? So before we get started with our program, we thought it would be fun to have a little contest. And since the average age in the room has been dramatically lowered today, I was in Bernard Calibo and the owner, Brad Potentier, gave me this $50 beautiful Easter egg to give as a prize today. The first three hands to go up, I'll take your guesses for the average age in the room. Paulette wins, although I bet you didn't get it exactly right. It's 61.2 today. I'd like to ask Jillian Kerrigan to come to the podium, and Jillian is our program director for the International Youth Exchange Program.
What I want to talk to you about today is just the operational bit from the club level and the cycle of the Youth Exchange Program. So in September, we reach out to the local high schools for interested students to apply in an exchange year abroad. We go through a rigid selection process to select a suitable outbound student to sponsor. And once we've selected an outbound student, our club is then obligated to host an inbound student. And between September and the end of August the following year, we are assisting our outbound student with the preparation to go on their exchange. And during this same time period, we have welcomed an inbound student who usually arrives in Victoria around the end of August. So I will let you know that our club has selected an outbound student who will spend her exchange year in Italy, and she's here today. So her name is Anna Legault. Thanks, Anna. So we'll bring Anna back for a formal introduction. Sorry, and we've also accepted an inbound student who is coming from Brazil, and we expect her to arrive sometime in August, and her name is Giovanna. We'd like to have a minimum of 3 host families during the exchange period. We can have more, we could have less, but it's better to have more. So if you'd like to help on this committee, come and see me or email me. My email address is in the roster, and I will be putting together further communication on this and sending it out through the club.
Now I'd like to introduce Alan Neal, who is going to give us a tour of all of our other youth involvement.
So today it's going to be a little bit of pandemonium because we have 2 of our Interact guests who are writing a provincial exam until noon, and they're going to arrive late. And we have a couple others who have to leave early because they're singing in the festival this afternoon. So we're going to kind of juggle this so that we can accommodate them all. So we're going to cover RYLA first today. RYLA, as you know, is the Rotary Youth Leadership Award Conference, which is held down in Tacoma in February of each year. So this year we had 2 delegates, both representing Esquimalt High School, and that was J.S. Scott and Gabrielle Rutman. So I'm going to ask them to come and talk about their experience down at RYLA.
We got the opportunity to go to RYLA, and it was an amazing experience in so many different ways, and today we're going to kind of share what we learned and how we're going to take what we learned at RYLA and bring it back into our schools and our communities.
We learned that leaders lead by pulling, not pushing, and that the only way to lead is by showing as an example for others. And it's important to remember, we learned, that in order to lead, you must follow. We also talked a lot about the spirit of Rotary. We talked about ensuring that we put service above ourselves, and we talked about the 4 pillars of Rotary, the 4-way test. And we learned that how to do these things effectively in our communities, and we really look forward to bringing these back to Esquimalt High School and continuing to create positive change in Victoria. So we'd like to thank the Rotary Club for sending us to RYLA. It was an amazing experience.
So our youth programs that we run through Rotary include RYLA, as you just heard about, and we have 2 other clubs, one called the Rotary Club and the other is called the Interact Club. Both the Rotary Club and the Interact Club were started in 2003 when I was the club president, so I'm always very proud of that. The Rotary is for people who are interested in Rotary and they're under 30 years of age. And it's held at UVic, and many of the members are university students, but not all, and you don't have to be. The Interact Club is like a Rotary Club at the high school level. So in our case, we sponsor a club at Esquimalt. The Rotary Club now is, even though they were sponsored by our club and Harborside, now they're pretty much an independent club. They deal with all the Rotary clubs. It's just fantastic. They get support from everybody, and they deal with everyone. So I'm going to ask Samantha and Emily's here, and Julia. Who's going to be the speaker? Samantha and Julia.
Our club this year, we have about 45 members of our club. We meet at UVic, and this year alone, we have inducted 18 new members. And together, we have volunteered for 375 hours this year.
This year, we were quite active with the Literacy Club. We worked with Story Studio, editing stories for elementary school students. There's a program where they go in and have kids write stories. We were editing for that, and they get published into little books for the kids. We also had a beer and burger night, which raised around over $700, I think, which was great, and that's all going to 1,000 by 5. And we also had a book drive.
Also from the Festival of Trees, raised money for BC Children's Hospital, as many people may know. And we've done a lot of projects this year that have gone to support the BC Children's Hospital. We had a raffle and a bake sale to support BC Children's Hospital and the Jolly Nyko Foundation. Our current project that we're working on is raising money for a new roof for a school in Uganda, or in Honduras. Have more Rotarians coming out to our weekly meetings, our monthly socials. They're a lot of fun, and we would love to have some guests.
Before Allie gets up and suggests that we ourselves do a shake it off. So thank you very much, Rotaract. And you can tell that they have the Rotary spirit of service above self, and they also have a lot of fun. So it's an amazing group.
Again, we would really like to thank you for all your support and hope to see you all at the World Cafe. And now we would like to invite Corrine Hack to come up. She's from the Interact Club, and she traveled to Sweden last year to be an exchange student. So I'm Corrine Hack, and I went to Sweden last year on a Rotary Youth Exchange. It's one of the best programs that Rotary runs, I believe. It's so valuable to be able to travel abroad and really connect with other people and get to see how other people live their lives abroad and how it's really not so different than our own life here. Here is Anna, and she's going on exchange this coming year, really soon.
Yeah. Thanks. So yes, my name is Anna. Hello everyone. I am a member of Interact, and I'm also very excited to be the outbound exchange student for Rotary.
We have a special presentation to give, and we've done a few of these this year, and this is our club giving Paul Harris Fellowship Awards to deserving members of our community. Without further ado, I'd like to bring Alan Neal back up to the podium to introduce you to the person that we're going to be giving a Paul Harris Award to
You
today.
can get some sense of how wonderful our Rotaract and Interact students are. And I'm going to talk about another person who was a great assistant to all those students over the years, and that's Mrs. Pat Boaker. Pat Boaker has just retired as a teacher from Esquimalt. We started working with her back in 2003 when we formed the Interact Club after we sent a student called Laura Wheeler to Riley. Years, Pat Boaker went out of her way to accommodate those students, make sure they were comfortable with their colleagues at the school, make sure their courses fit into what they were trying to accomplish. We even had one, our Daniel from Switzerland actually did the cover for the annual yearbook that they do. So when Ali said we're trying to find people who exemplify the Rotary philosophy of service above self, I immediately thought of Mrs. Boaker. So
I had no idea that this was happening. To take this opportunity to thank Victoria Rotary for supporting the students of Esquimalt Secondary for so many years. Alan, in the beginning, you and the Esquimalt Rotary Club took a chance on us. And on behalf of Interact and Esquimalt High School, many thanks to all of you.
With this car raffle, we start next week. There are probably 85% of the shifts unfilled. Please, let's set a pace, let's set a precedent, let's be the leaders. It's our project. We ask the other 10 clubs to come in. Let's get onto the computer. and put your name down for a 2-hour shift. Please, let's stand for the Queen.